It's still in the air.
Where?
Judging by the sound.
He fell somewhere else.
At least 11 people were injured on Saturday after Ukrainian authorities attacked a facility in central Russia, local authorities said. A Russian independent news channel, citing eyewitness footage, identified the site as a key state-owned missile plant. According to an Associated Press report, a Russian independent Telegram news channel named Astra identified the target as the Votkinsk machine building plant.
One of the facilities in Udmurtia was attacked by drones. As a result, there is damage and casualties. They are being provided with all necessary assistance. All emergency services are currently working at the scene.
The Votkinsk factory produces Iskander ballistic missiles, often used in strikes against Ukraine, as well as nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missiles. Residents of Saransk and Votkinsk posted videos showing smoke rising over the city. Local Telegram news channels reported, however, that the smoke was seen in the area of the electro-vipriamidal plant, a semiconductor manufacturer sanctioned by the United States as a critical supplier to the Russian military. Ukraine's counter comes a day after one person was killed and 2 more injured after a Russian drone strike in Kharkiv. According to Ukraine's emergency services, fire broke out in a warehouse building of one of the civilian enterprises, covering an area of at least 3,000 square meters, roughly 32,292 square feet. In another attack, the State Emergency Service of Ukraine said on Friday that at least 3 people were injured after the latest Russian strike in Zaporizhzhia. An aerial bomb damaged the facade, windows, and roof of a 4-story residential building, emergency services said in a statement on social media. Russia continues to pound Ukrainian cities despite U.S.-brokered peace negotiations between the two countries.
It is important that the Europeans were present in Switzerland. This is exactly how we intend to work going forward, to ensure that Europe's positions are taken into account. I also want to thank all members of our delegation for strictly adhering to the directives during the negotiations. It is very important that Ukraine speaks confidently, strongly, and in a coordinated manner. Ukrainian unity always delivers the greatest results.
Well, the big talks, it's going to be very easy. I mean, look, so far, Ukraine better come to the table fast. That's all I'm telling you. We are in a position, we want them to come.
A new battlefield update from Moscow claims sweeping gains across eastern and southern Ukraine. Russia says 8 settlements are now under its control after a week of intensified assaults. At the same time, accusations are flying over a drone strike on a school in Energodar. As fighting escalates, diplomacy appears increasingly fragile. Russia's defense ministry says its forces have taken control of 8 communities between February 14th and 20th. According to Moscow, the advances span the Sumy region, the Zaporizhzhia region, and areas of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic. Officials describe coordinated offensive actions by multiple battle groups, each targeting different sectors of the front line. In the north, Russia says units secured Pokrovka and Kharkovka in the Sumy region. Further south, Minkovka in Donetsk was reportedly seized after what Moscow calls active operations. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, additional settlements, including Svetkovia, Krynichnoye, Zapasnoye, Magdalinovka, and Primorskoye, were declared under Russian control. Ukraine has not confirmed these claims, and battlefield conditions remain fluid.
Moscow credits the advances to coordinated operations by battle groups north, south, east, and Dnieper. The Defense Ministry says these formations push deeper into Ukrainian defensive lines, consolidating positions and expanding territorial control. The Russian military frames the week as one of momentum, describing sustained pressure along multiple axes rather than a single breakthrough. The broader strategic picture, however, remains contested, with both sides continuing long-range strikes and artillery exchanges. Russia's defense ministry claims more than 1,310 Ukrainian troops were killed or wounded in the past week within the Battle Group North area of responsibility alone. It also reports the destruction of 4 armored combat vehicles and additional military hardware. Beyond territorial claims, Moscow is also accusing Kyiv of escalating provocations. Russian officials say a Ukrainian drone strike targeted a school in Energodar, where approximately 600 children were reported present. Rodion Miroshnik, Russia's ambassador-at-large, described the strike as a deliberate attempt to derail potential peace discussions. He characterized it as a provocative act aimed at preventing negotiations from continuing.
Today, our state has made a decision to impose sanctions against Alexander Lukashenko. We are responding with this decision to Belarus's clearly increasing involvement in Russia's war against Ukraine. Lukashenko is accustomed to trading away his country's sovereignty, having sacrificed many of Belarus's interests to the Russians. Russia even brought its full-scale war to Ukraine, partly using Belarusian territory, and that is a fact. Today, we had several detailed discussions with our negotiating team in Geneva. It was the second day of meetings, a trilateral format and other formats as well. Ukraine is determined to achieve results. As of today, we cannot say that the outcome is sufficient. The military representatives discussed certain issues seriously and substantively. However, sensitive political matters, issues of possible compromises, and the necessary meeting of leaders have not yet been sufficiently worked through. We are counting on the next meeting, and it would be right for it to take place still in February. It is important to note the presence of Europeans, France, the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and Switzerland as the host. It is we in Ukraine who always push the position that Europe must be part of the process. I want to thank the United States for taking this position into account. Today, all members of our negotiating team will already be in Ukraine, and I have scheduled a special meeting with them tomorrow regarding our next steps and decisions. They will deliver a report on those aspects of the negotiations that should not be discussed over the phone. We will also define the further framework of our dialogue with our partners, with the American side, with the Europeans, and with the Russian side. It is important that Europeans were present in Switzerland. This is exactly how we intend to work going forward, to ensure that Europe's positions are taken into account. I also want to thank all members of our delegation for strictly adhering to the directives during the negotiations. It is very important that Ukraine speaks confidently, strongly, and in a coordinated manner. Ukrainian unity always delivers the greatest results. Intelligence reports that the Russians are preparing new massive strikes on energy, and air defenses must be configured properly. Russian attacks constantly, if you can put it that way, evolve. Evil also develops, unfortunately. These are combined strikes that require special protection and corresponding support from partners. Any delay in supplying air defense missiles, any untimely delivery, works for scaling up the damage from the strikes. Right now, everyone is awaiting the continuation of the trilateral meetings. Our delegation is already in Geneva and preparing for the negotiations. Russia cannot resist the temptation of the last days of winter cold and wants to inflict painful blows on Ukrainians. The more of this evil that comes from Russia, the harder it will be for everyone to reach any agreements with them. Partners must understand this. First and foremost, this concerns the United States.